You're listening to 3 Minute Marketing, where we interview the world's top growth marketing leaders and distill their knowledge into actionable, bite-sized insights. Now here's your host, Chris Mechanic.
Welcome everybody to episode 39 of 3 Minute Marketing, where we're all about brevity. We like to drop just big, deep insights in very short periods of time. Today's guest is David Wachs, who is CEO and founder of a really cool little outfit called handwritten.com. That's written with a Y. It's basically like automated handwritten notes, which is really interesting. Welcome to the show, David. Excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me on. Excited to be here.
So today I want to talk about handwritten notes. It's something that I've been doing here and there for some time. I've always wanted to create a habit of it. Talk to us a little bit about handwritten notes and some different ways that marketers could benefit from them.
Absolutely. And to start that, let me give you a 5-second spiel on my background so you kind of have some context here. I've been doing handwritten for 8 years now. Prior to that, for 10 years, I ran a text messaging company that we built up from nothing. And in the end, we're sending 1 million texts a day for Abercrombie Fitch, Toys R Us, Sam's Club, OfficeMax, some very big brands. And what I realized is that I was kind of part of the problem, because everybody started getting thousands of text messages a month. The average person gets 100 emails a day, spending 24% of their time managing their email inbox. So what really stands out? Well, none of that stands out. That's all a chore. But when you receive a handwritten note, not only is it opened and not only is it read, but it's kept and savored. Just some examples. We have a piano tuner based in Pennsylvania that when they send out a handwritten note, they only do it once a year because you only need your piano tuned once a year. But when you get your piano tuned, they follow up with an automation through our platform to send a handwritten note. And then a year later, when he's back to tune your piano again, that handwritten note is still standing on the piano. So not only is it open and read, but it's kept on display for a year on the most prized possession in that person's house.
Wow.
So we help businesses automate this. It's a software platform. We integrate with Zapier and Integromat and Salesforce and HubSpot and all these other platforms. We're coming out with a Shopify integration. All those integrations do is help you get out handwritten notes in the same automated fashion as you do emails and text messages. We do this with robots that actually write your notes in pen, in a Pilot G2 ballpoint pen, at scale. We've got 175 robots doing that.
Wow. So what are some different ways that marketers could deploy these or use them in their flows?
Absolutely. So we have win-back campaigns. So if your customer has a bad experience, you send them a handwritten note, follow-up, apologizing and thanking. We have one customer, short on time, so I can't get too much into it, but they realize, gee, these win-back campaigns work so great. Let's just screw up with everybody intentionally, follow up with a handwritten note and rise all ships, which is what they did. So they actually raised the lifetime value of all customers by bringing them through this process. Coupons have a 15 to 18% redemption rate online when you mail a handwritten note with a coupon, compared to 3 to 4% redemption rate.
Wow.
And then we have automotive dealerships that are telling us that sending these handwritten invitations to come into the dealership are 27 times more effective than a printed letter. Even when you account for the difference in cost, it's still 7 times better ROI.
Wow, that's amazing. That's our time here for today. I just have one quick thing on the last, the automotive dealership. Better performance in terms of what? Was it in terms of just like the
driving people to the dealership? So they send out these letters inviting people back in to think about trade in, trade up. And the printed letters they used to send, these letters have the handwritten note comparison has 27 times greater response to the printed note.
Oh my goodness, 27 times. That's
27.
Like two, almost 3 orders of magnitude. That's amazing. Okay, very cool. Well, we got a wrap here. Stick around, David. If you guys enjoyed this, please drop us a like or a comment, share it with your friend. David, where can folks find out more about you or Handwritten?
Sure. Handwritten.com, handwrytten.com. Click on the business tab, which will allow you to request free samples. So you can just see how amazingly realistic these look, and they pass the smudge test. And you'll also, if you want to try it out yourself, use discount code podcast when you sign up for $5 in credit. That's enough to send one handwritten note to yourself or someone else.
Oh, that's great. All right, we'll definitely include that in the show notes. Thank you, David. And you stick around, guys. If you like this, David and I are going to continue jamming for just a few minutes in the bonus footage, which you can find probably somewhere around this video, or if you're watching this on the website, it'll start in about 5 seconds. What is the process for, like, if I were to sign up for Handwrytten today and we're HubSpot users, how do I go from like signing up on the website to like triggering a message to be sent out via HubSpot?
Yeah, so as we were chatting before, HubSpot is kind of a two-legged beast. One side is HubSpot CRM, and there we directly integrate. However, with the HubSpot marketing platform, cloud, whatever it's called, I recommend using something called Integromat, which is kind of like Zapier, but a little bit more robust in its capabilities. And the one thing you could do with Integromat is you can do timed activities, where Zapier is very much real time. Somebody hits the stage, do this. Integromat, you can kind of set up, okay, do this every day for the new customers or whatever.
Awesome.
So what you would do is you would go to handwritten.com, you sign up for a free account.
We do have HubSpot CRM, by the way, so we probably wouldn't need the Integromat.
Okay, so for CRM, what it is you install the Handwrytten plugin into HubSpot CRM. It adds a button to your HubSpot screen, to the contact screen. So you'll have all the contact information, their address, their name, all that stuff, your activity timeline or whatever that's called, the activity listing. And then on the right-hand side, you'll have a button that says send handwritten note. And when you click that, it takes you into Handwrytten. I kind of want to redo it, because what it does is it pops up a window, and then inside that window is Handwrytten. So you lose a lot of real estate. We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
And then when you send the note, it's the standard Handwrytten process. There's two benefits, however. Number one, you don't have to re-enter all the address information. It carries over from HubSpot, so that's nice. Number two is after you send the note, it gets recorded back to the timeline, so that all that data is collected, and you say, oh, I spoke to him on Tuesday, sent him an email on Wednesday, sent them a handwritten note on Thursday. That's kind of the benefit. It's rather limited compared to some of our other integrations that we have. We have a very robust Salesforce.com integration. Just due to the nature of HubSpot, we were kind of not given as much leeway there to build out something as robust, but that's what it does currently. And then if you need any more functionality, you can use Integromat to do that as well.
Cool. And I'm really not trying to make this like a big product pitch. I am actually quite interested in integrating this into our own campaigns. But how do you get my handwriting sample? Do I write like the clear or the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog 5 times or something?
Yeah, so on our website, we have about 30 available handwriting styles that are available to anyone. And I have my personal favorites like Joyful Jennifer, Tenacious Nick. There's 30 of them there. And so you can, the most cost-effective way is to use an existing style. We can, if you want to take it a step further, for $250 one-time fee, we can replicate your signature. So you could have it in that Joyful Jennifer style, but then signed off with your swooping signature, whatever you want there. For $1,000, we can replicate your handwriting. And that is a very time-consuming process for our designers. It takes them a full week. But what it is we give you a full packet. It's like being back in kindergarten. You have to do all your letters 3 times. You then have to write sentences like the quick brown fox, and there's all these goofy sentences you have to write. It is a preschool, kindergarten, first grade packet you have to do, maybe 10 pages. We then take all that information, we design your handwriting style, because in that we take into account ligature combinations, So how do you do two L's together, two T's together, two O's? How do you connect those O's? Do you connect those O's? We also randomize the characters, so not all R's at the beginning of the word look the same or at the end of the word. We randomize everything in between to make it look really very natural. So we need a lot of samples of your handwriting to make that happen. We've got about 300 or so clients that take us up on the option to do their own handwriting. It's really up to you. And when you do it, it's just for you or whomever you assign has access to that handwriting. Nobody else can see that handwriting in our system.
Gotcha.
And I will say, I'm pretty used to seeing Joyful Jennifer come off the robots. It looks good, but I'm used to seeing it. When I see, somebody's special handwriting come off, I'm baffled because, I see the robot doing it and then I look at the end result and I'm like, I would have no idea that was written by a robot. And now what we're doing, just to give you a glimpse, in addition to varying the we randomize the characters, we do all the ligature combinations, all that. We vary the line spacing. So you're not going to write perfectly across. Some lines are a little higher, some lines a little lower, and then we vary the line left margin on a line by line basis. So you don't always start at exactly the right spot. It's a very subtle jutting in and out of your handwriting. We don't make it crazy. We want it to look realistic, but we do jut it in and out. Now what we're doing, and we're very excited about, is what we call line level warping, in which case every single line takes a slightly different shape. So, most lines you'll write, maybe if you're right-handed, you'll kind of write up as you write, or just a little bit up, but every line might go up a little bit differently. So we are taking into account all that warping to make it look truly perfect. And we're very close to rolling that out. I just sent out samples to my team yesterday. So
now, is it mostly B2Cs that are your customers, or do you have a lot of B2B customers?
Mostly B2B.
Mostly B2B.
We don't focus on the B2C. There's no money in it. We want volume. It's the only way we're gonna grow this. So we work with luxury brands like leather goods companies out of Italy. We work with car dealerships. Car dealerships are a big part of our strategy. We work with realtors, of course, and mortgage brokers, of course. Political campaigns, nonprofits, kind of runs the gamut.
So I would consider those B2Cs. I meant basically, are your customers B2Bs or B2Cs?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, in the end, everybody's a human. Everyone's a customer. But yes, our customers are businesses and their customers tend to be consumers. However, our biggest client overall, I don't know. It's a solar panel installer. So their salespeople are writing, I guess they're consumers also. Yeah, they're sending thank you notes to people there installing solar panels or talking about installing solar panels. So yeah, I mean, in the end, I think everybody is a customer.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of obvious applications like in B2C settings, like at an automotive dealership. We have like probably about half of our business, maybe a little less than half, is B2B. Mostly, either software or some kind of technology or maybe professional services where,
we work with, I'm sorry. We work with banks that send out notes to their customers. We work with, and those customers are commercial banks, commercial customers. We work with a company that sends out swag to other companies. So, thank you so much for being our client at, IBM or whoever their client is. They send out swag. They include a handwritten note from us with all that swag. So we do work with businesses too. It works both ways. It's always easier to come up with B2C examples than B2B, but it certainly works both ways.
So B2Bs are hot on account-based marketing. They have been for several years. And account-based marketing is basically a fancy way to say like good, proper sales and marketing. It's where your marketing efforts are aligned at a universe of prospects and not just brought out to everybody. But I could see this as a killer addition to an ABM sequence. So a typical ABM sequence might be like, email them day one, friend them on LinkedIn, day
Yep.
4, day 7, call and leave a message, whatever.
Yep.
But I could see an application, and I think it would be really cool actually, where a note goes out, like a handwritten note goes out as part of the prospecting effort, and it could even be customized at scale. Like for instance, you could have a landing page template that works pretty much for any prospect with a few variables. So like you go to handwritten.com /
Web mechanics
question mark equals
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and it'll display this page where the headline and the subhead may be custom written for web mechanics, but the rest is that would be pretty sick, I think.
Yeah, we do it as part of our, a lot of our customers are businesses. So we
Right.
do that. You go to our website, you request samples, you then get put in our drip campaign where you're going to get the sample kit, you're going to get a handwritten note, you're going to get emails, you're going to get phone calls, you're going to get LinkedIn. So we do, exactly that. And it seems to be pretty effective. For trade shows, a very B2B approach. If you plan on attending trade shows, it works phenomenally well. We go to trade shows not to have a booth, but to get the attendee list and then meet with those attendees in the bar or whatever. But we don't even need, we were at a trade show in Palm Springs called E-Tail prior to COVID. And we sent out a handwritten blast to all the attendees there. We had so many meetings, we had to cut meetings short.
Oh
which isn't great, when you're like, hey, you want to close with us? I'm sorry, I got to go to this next meeting. But yeah. But handwritten notes certainly are phenomenal for trade show.
Gotcha. So did you send the handwritten notes ahead of time before the trade show?
Yeah. Getting the attendee list with their full mailing address is pretty critical. We're going to NADA, the National Automotive Dealership Show, and quite honestly, the only reason we got a booth is booths are cheap right now, and they include the free attendee list. So the attendee list is more valuable to us than the booth itself.
Right. You should just have one of your robots manning the booth.
We're bringing a robot. Yeah, we're bringing a robot. It's not like Elon Musk's Optimus subprime, but yeah, we're bringing robots.
Nice. All right, well, that's just about time. I want to be sensitive. I know you've probably got 100 things going on, but we really enjoyed this, and I personally will go and check out Handwritten. I'll probably do that.
Please.
I'll use the what do you call it, the discount code podcast, but I'm also going to request the sample kit just to experience your own flows.
Please,
I imagine you guys have tested that to the hills. So I'm curious to see.
Yeah, and if there's anything I can do for you or any of your listeners, please reach out to david@handwritten.com. Would love to chat with you all. And thanks again.
Absolutely. I expect you'll probably get some emails.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot, David. We'll see you soon.